Hello, fellow heirs, and welcome back to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, where we are reading through the book of Genesis. And today we will be reading the 25th chapter of Genesis in the NLT version, and it starts out with the death of Abraham. So without any further ado, let's get started. Abraham married another wife whose name was Keturah. She gave birth to Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Dedan. Dedan's descendants were the Ashurites, Letushites, and the Lemites. Midian's sons were Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. These were all the descendants of Abraham through Keturah. Abraham gave everything he owned to his son Isaac, but before he died, he gave gifts to the sons of his concubines and sent them off to a land in the east away from Isaac. Abraham lived for 175 years, and he died at a ripe old age. Having lived a long and satisfying life, he breathed his last breath and joined his ancestors in death. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar the Hittite. This was the field Abraham had purchased from the Hittites and where he had buried his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac, who settled near Baal-Haroi in the Negev. Ishmael descendants. This is the account of the family of Ishmael, the son of Abraham through Hagar, Sarah's Egyptian servant. Here is a list by their names and clans of Ishmael descendants. The oldest was Nebaioth, followed by Kedar, Adbel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedema. These 12 sons of Ishmael became the founders of the 12 tribes after them, listed according to the places they settled and camped. Ishmael lived for 137 years. Then he breathed his last breath and joined his ancestors in death. Ishmael's descendants occupied the region from Havilah to Shur, which is east of Egypt in the direction of Ashur. There, they lived in open hostility towards all their relatives. The birth of Esau and Jacob. This is the account of the family of Isaac, the son of Abraham. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, an Aramean from Padan Aram, and the sister of Laban, an Aramean. Isaac pleaded with the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was unable to have children. The Lord answered Isaac's prayer, and Rebekah became pregnant with twins, but the two children struggled with each other in her womb. So she went to ask the Lord about it. "Why is this happening to me?" she asked. And the Lord told her, "The sons in your womb will become two nations. From the very beginning, the two nations will be rivals. One nation will be stronger than the other, and your older son will serve your younger son." And when the time came to give birth, Rebekah discovered that she did indeed have twins. The first one was very red at birth and covered with thick hair like a fur coat. So they named him Esau. Then the other twin was born with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So they named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when the twins were born. Esau sells his birthright. As the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter. He was an outdoorsman, but Jacob had a quiet temperament, preferring to stay home. Isaac loved Esau because he enjoyed eating the wild game Esau brought home, but Rebekah loved Jacob. One day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home from the wilderness, exhausted and hungry. Esau said to Jacob, "I'm starved. Give me some of that red stew." This is how Esau got his name, Edom, which means red. "All right," Jacob replied, "but trade me your rights as the firstborn." "Look, I'm dying of starvation," said Esau. "What good is my birthright to me now?" But Jacob said, "First you must swear that your birthright is mine." So Esau swore an oath, thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn to his brother Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate the meal, then got up and left. He showed contempt for his rights as the firstborn. And that concludes Genesis 25. This particular chapter has so much in it. First of all, I was thinking about how they listed all the names of the children. And that just made me think of how important family is and how important each and every child is. That we should also make a list. And I know we don't do this in my family. I think they used to do it, put the names of the children that are being born in the Bible, because there was a place for you to list every child that was being born. I don't know that people do that today. I don't think that my family does. I cannot tell you all the children in my family. There are so many. But there should be a place to me where we have it written down. I know we used to, but we don't anymore. But everyone is important, and it's important, I think, for us to look back at our lineage to see who was in our lineage and what they've done and how we can carry on their legacy. Another thing I was thinking about is a dysfunction of the family, and how that whole situation with Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac, how he gave Isaac everything as he was the firstborn, and that's what they did in that day. But no, he wasn't the firstborn. Ishmael was, and then Isaac. And that's probably why there was a big problem, because he gave Isaac everything. And this, I'm sure this put a rift between the brothers, as it said in the chapter, that they were against them. You know, they were rivals. They became rivals. And I could see how jealousy could play a great part in that. So dysfunction of the family. So, you know, it's just not good to play favoritism nowadays with your children. It's not good, because it causes animosity between them, and that stuff still goes on today. Sad to say, you know. And the third thing, and I was hoping I would get to say all this before the ending of this, was with Esau and Jacob, and that was a sad situation there. But it made me think of how God, you know, when they were in her womb, God told Rebecca about the two nations in her womb, which makes me think about how God chooses us and places us in our parents, our mother's womb, how he knows the plans that he has for you, even as a embryo, even as a fetus. He already knows. He chose you, and he put you specifically in there with all the characteristics and traits that he wanted you to have. And so when it makes me think of all this Roe versus Wade, and the AB, which I'm not going to say because I don't know if that'll ban this video, but when people get an AB, you know, they don't know what greatness they are removing from the world. My video is ending in a few seconds, so I'm sorry to stop this abruptly. Have a good day.